Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Today is Friday, February 13th, 2026. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. We are here at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and other interested people on their journey through this life. Boom, that's it. Just here to help our students and interested people on their journey through life. Fundamental idea is that we have a soul that transcends death. That is the thing you have to believe or not believe. But it kind of works like this. If you don't believe it, but think, well, I can just act this way. I don't need to believe this stuff, but if I act like I believe it, I'm going to be okay. The answer could be not so fast, George Banks, that you might actually have to do things. Good morning, Maticus Von Atticus. Good morning to you. So our fundamental belief is we have a soul that transcends death, that continues after death. And that's the thing you have to believe or not believe. If you don't believe it and you're wrong, there could be serious consequences. If you believe it and you're wrong, there won't be any serious consequences. And you'll probably go down in the minds of the people, the memories of the people who continued after you. You might go on in their minds as a good person. Fond memories, lessons learned, etc. So there's no reason not to believe we have a soul that transcends death. If you believe we have a soul that transcends death, then the question is, what does that mean towards current life? And it should mean I should live my life in such a way that what happens next is a consequence of that. What does that mean? That means be a good person. That's what it means. If you believe we have a soul that continues after death, then it makes sense to be a good person so you're on the right trajectory. Because otherwise, nothing makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, so the weekends, our focus is on the spiritual, but during the week, it's the other three legs of the four-legged table. So just imagine your life is like a table and it has four legs. The legs have to be strong and they have to be solidly attached. If you have a weak leg and it's solidly attached, too much weight on that part of the table is going to cause the leg to collapse. If it's a solid leg, but it's not solidly attached, if there's any kind of shaking going on in the table, not this way, because this way is fine, it's this way. Any kind of sideways movement in the table, you're liable to have that leg fall off, and then it's going to be catastrophic with the same result. So you need four strong legs and have them solidly attached to the table. And then, regardless of how big the tabletop is, you can stack a lot of weight on it if you stack it properly. Versus if you have a really big tabletop, but the legs are not solidly attached or they're not strong, the thing will collapse. So we want to help build people to build strong legs and have them securely attached. So the four legs of the table are physical, which is fitness and health. You have to take care of your body. What you ingest and what you, how you work your body, physically, how you work your body. 2, mental, as Maticus Von Atticus knows, ABC. A, always be, B, C, learning. Always be learning, ABC, always be learning. world is changing ever faster. And when we get to Seth Godin, we're going to learn about how AI is changing things minute by minute. You can't keep up now. Well, you probably couldn't keep up for a long time, but now, if the curve was going like this with information, it's now going like that. Next, emotional. And what we simply say here is, if you can't control your emotions, don't worry. Someone else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. So you got to learn to control your emotions. Viktor Frankl, Stoicism, etc., etc. And then the spiritual side. The North Star, where are we heading? Okay, so that's our 6-minute introduction. Today is day 5 in week number 3 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Day 5 in week 3, our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And this is Derek Sivers talking about how he's demonstrating what we've learned Monday through Thursday. How do you get people to, how you nudge them forward, the whole process from soup to nuts. We're going to talk about that. And first of all, let's start with advice from an 80-year-old. Okay, who stole the advice from an 80-year-old? Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll have to do it over here. Beep pop. Am I still there? Am I live still? People calling this time of the day. Need a verification code. Okay. All righty, people. 115197. Booyah, we're back. Okay. That was kind of interesting. How do you get logged out of your own thing? And okay. Advice from an 80-year-old. Become someone's hero. How about that? How about that as advice from an 80-year-old? Become someone's hero. Become someone's hero. Next. Next. Okay, Seth Godin. Here we go. The next generation of AI businesses. The first generation was built on large models, demonstrating what could be done and powering many tools. The second generation is focused on reducing costs and saving time, replacing workers or making them more efficient. But you can't shrink your way to greatness. The third generation will be built on a simple premise, one that the internet has proven again and again. Ready for it? 5 words. Create value by connecting people. Right, so you can think about Seth Godin's TED Talk of this week of the Tribes We Lead, or tribal leadership. We haven't seen this yet, but once it gains traction, it'll seem obvious and we'll wonder how we missed it. Create tools that work better when your peers and colleagues use them too, and tools that solve problems that people with resources are willing to pay for. Problems are everywhere, yet we often ignore them. Well, we accept them for what they are. And communities existing and those that need to exist are just waiting to have their problems solved. Here's a list of network-based tech companies you may have heard of: Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, LinkedIn, Wikipedia, Discourse, Airbnb, Etsy, Stack, Overflow, Pinterest, Twitch, eBay, Squidoo, Snapchat, GitHub. You can't use them alone, and they work better when others use them too. Okay, I know about maybe 4 or 5. So far, most AI projects ignore the very network effects that built the internet. That's almost certain to change. For those with paraskividikotrophobia, consider this your opportunity to build something worth building instead of just waiting for the negative consequences of this change to arrive. I'm going to save that word. Now I'm going to change the title of today from Be a Lone Nut to that. That's new. Now the name. That's the name. Paraskividikotrophobia. And we're going to look that up in just a second. Meaning, the specific, often irrational fear of Friday, from the Greek words for Friday, paraskivi, 13, decatrice, and fear, phobia. It affects millions who may avoid travel, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Oops. I want to see one that has the how you pronounce it. Apparently Johnny Depp has fear of that. Paraskividikotrophobia. 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 Okay, well, that took several minutes, which we'll never get back. But now we learned something. Fear of Friday the 13th. Who got it? I don't know, not me. Next. Okay, so the next generation of AI is going to do what the internet has always done, get better at connecting people. And as Seth Godin talked about in his video on Tuesday, because of the internet, people who wear red hats can connect with other people who wear different kinds, who wear red hats, and all sorts of different kinds of people who wear red hats can find more people that wear the same type of red hats they wear. You can use the internet to find and build tribes. And you only need about 1,000 true believers. That's the number. And they will then go out and get more. Okay. Ooh, the man in the arena. Okay, have to watch that. Let's see, what else do we have on our hit parade? Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday, a very good one today, Daily Stoic, about doing the hard things. Doing the hard things. We might not like it when we do it, but when we're done, we're glad we did the hard things. Do the hard things. Don't just look for the easy things. Have a growth mindset. Do the hard things, recognizing they make you better. They make you better. Next, Jordan Peterson. If you're smart, so he's saying, so he does a good short video on if you are smart, you also need to be humble. Not arrogant, not conceited. One thing that is frustrating in my class, my Thursday night class, and it's probably just now, it's probably always been the case, but now I'm on the other side looking in. And that is these young people who think they have all the answers. They're not students, they are experts. And when you have 20-something-year-old kids who went to a good school, they have a pretty high IQ, at least 115, one standard deviation above the norm, thinking they have all the answers, and they're teaching psychology, not teaching psychology, they're acting like therapists to young kids. It's frightening, very frightening. But it could have been the way it's always been. Like when I was 25, 26, I thought I knew everything, and the older people got it wrong. How do we know they got it wrong? Well, look at the world around us. It's not us young people who did that. It's the oldsters who did that. They screwed everything up. We got to get rid of them and take over. So if Atticus von Atticus is actually there, the question is, what was the name of the island that Pinocchio went to, where they had all the donkey kids on it? That's where the youths think they are. We're young, we're smart, we're hip, we're modern. All of the problems of today were created by the people who were oldsters today. We weren't even born when these problems arose, is what they say. We weren't even born. Out with the old, in with the new. Right? That's how revolutions are started. There's a cancer growing amongst us. We must remove it. Okay, let's see. I think that's about it for today. Tomorrow is called G School, where we focus on the spiritual side. Maybe we'll talk about what happened Thursday night at the small group, which turned out to be over 20 people. I thought there was going to be 4 or 5, maybe 6, but I brought 16 books, and there were over 20 people. I think 22 people ultimately showed up, and we had to trudge forward. So with that, I've got an 8 o'clock with the old fogies at the museum for coffee and donuts. Then I've got the roughly 9:30, Dad's meeting, 10 o'clock, Tony Baca, doctor. I have my assignment, the Daniel Pink assignment, and we got to say, and cut.